Haiti, whoa. Whoa, mes amis, oh, oh. This is my part, y'all. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. It's your girl Fancy Okay. Shout out to this virtual background because I really didn't feel like, tightening up. So I had the opportunity to present this background. Hey Mary Hall, how are you? So I just want my part to go by. This is my song. Rest in peace to Kylie Me because they no longer exist. But had really great hits. Anywho, so I really want to come on and talk a little bit about our rich culture, you guys. Yes. What's going on? Sorry. I stumbled across some news and I just felt like I had to share it. Make sure you guys follow me. I have a podcast called Dear Haitian People on Anchors, but you can find it on all platforms. And what I tend to do on here is talk about sak passe, money. I talk about different things in the Haitian culture, which I'm kind of going to veer over a little bit more on the community, not just the Haitian community, but that's a whole nother topic. So I was doing some research and I came across, before I even get there, for those who are unaware, last year, 2019, they had the year of the return over in Africa, in Ghana to be exact. And, that was mainly for people in America to go there and gain resources over there. So sorry, all my notifications are going crazy. And so I was doing some research, and back in shortly after we became free, which was 1804, like within a decade or two, Haiti was offering the same thing to African Americans in the America. So honestly, Haiti had a whole thing where if you touch the land, you're free. Doesn't matter where you're from, what's your background. Haiti, you're free from slavery. You understand? So you had Jewish people, Juif, you had Hispanics, you had Cubans, you had anyone touch their land, you're free. But in 1824, to be exact, they had this the president at the time, Boya, he opened up to Haitians in America. No, not Haitians. Black African Americans in America who wanted to come up out of slavery or segregation at the time, and they could come over. He would pay for their flight to come in, and the minute you come over, you get 3 acres of land. You would get money. You would get set up pretty much. You'll get enough resources to sustain and survive in Haiti. 3 acres of land and some money. That's dope. I wish they was offering that right now because I'll run there. But anyways, I say all that to say, right? This was what? 1824. We got free to 1804. We helped America, which a lot of people don't even know, with the Haitian Revolution helped the USA gain, if not double its size during the Louisiana Purchase. But we're not even gonna go into that as of yet. But to look at how history definitely repeats itself. Oh yeah, and at the time in 1824, when Haiti opened up its doors to anyone who wanted to be free from slavery and segregation, Africa was also doing it as well, but I believe it was in Liberia at the time. So it lasted about a couple of years. I want to say 2-3 years in Haiti. It lasted for, yeah, like a couple of years, and 13,000 people from America, mainly Boston, Baltimore, Pennsylvania, went to Haiti and went to go level up, in other words. And as I was doing my research, I was still researching. A lot of people, you have, and with anything in this world, you'll have good reviews, bad reviews. And a lot of people were writing back to their families like, this is amazing. Like, this land is beautiful. It's rich of resources and the agriculture and the, the beautiful waters and everything. And I was just thinking, if in 1824, the president in Haiti at the time was able to bring people in to Haiti, provide them with 3 acres of land, with resources, with funding to get them started. And it's like smart, because as he's doing that, setting up these communities, they're going to put back into it. It's amazing to me. Anywho, so then I reflect on a year of the return and how Ghana opened up. After, 400 years, they wanted to commemorate that 400 years. And I'm just thinking, if Sino de Kafel then, Puke Sanu pa Kafel now. That's a whole nother conversation within itself. But if that was something that was offered, I'm curious on how many people would take that opportunity and go to Haiti and take the free 3 acres of land, take the funding, take the resources, to come up out of the situation that we are in now. Unfortunately, because we have, for lack of better words, sold ourselves. And when I say sold ourselves, I'm talking about the Haitian government to the United States. That, what was offered then, I don't see it being offered anytime soon. But to look at how, one, we've become free on our own, and then 2, we've helped the USA with the whole Louisiana Purchase. You would think Haiti, rather than them turn their nose up at us, the Haitians, they would embrace us as their fellow freedom fighters. Sorry. Thought I heard somebody at the door. Anywho. But, anywho. So I thought that was really interesting, and I wanted to share that. 1804, we become free. Nearly 20 years, 2 decades later, we're telling everyone in America, listen, you don't have to go through slavery. You don't have to be segregated. Come to our island. Here's some money. Here's a starter kit. Okay? And start a whole new life here. He literally, this is mind-boggling, because I didn't know this information, and I came across it, and I'm just like at an awe. And it's, of course, not new, because I believe, although the president at the time, Boyer, was the one who initially started it, a few other presidents has followed it as well and became much more successful with bringing in those from America. I want to say, anywho. So sorry. So, if this was given the opportunity today, would you or would you not run with it? I know a lot of people, either one, went over to Africa and took the year of return, was able to take, and take some of the process and buy into the Ghana and become a citizen and have land. But then I'm curious if Haiti was where it was then, which I don't know, it obviously was in a better state that it is in today. But if they were to open up their country and give you land and give you resources and funding and enough to sustain, would you take that opportunity? Because I know for me, I would. I would go crazy if that was a thing, okay? And I would love for it to become a thing. I don't know if it can be, but if it could, I would love to see that happen. Or would love to help make it happen. Seriously. So anywho, I definitely wanted to share this with you guys. For those who were unaware, like myself, I came across some stuff, came across some information, did some intense research, and this is just amazing to me. This rich culture of ours, and how much power and how much history lives behind that small little island called Haiti. And to think of my history in grade school growing up, how they barely touched it, or they touched it but they didn't show us this side, rather they show us the other side of Haiti. And as an adult, in my adult life, I would have to do the research and find out on my own, which I'm okay with, because rather me being told the information, I appreciate it that much more doing the research. But the more and more I learn about it, the more and more I'm grateful to call myself Haitian. And then, I remember growing up, those who didn't want to claim their culture, Hey Ken, how are you? Just sharing a little bit of Haitian history that I came across today, and I thought it was amazing. I must share the knowledge. Yeah, so I remember, I kid you guys not, I remember a good amount of people who used to say, hey, they're not Haitian. They're like, French or Cuban or Indian or whatever the case may be. And I mean, there's no excuse. But society did not help them embrace it at the time, Then I look at them today. No comment. But I really want to know. I really wish I could have a sit down. And I was having this talk with a friend of mine. I really want to have a sit down with those who used to claim that they were another nationality until recently, when Haiti became a thing, when Haiti was okay to trend and to claim to be a Zo and to be Haitian. I really want to have a sit down with someone who wouldn't mind explaining their journey in that, who claim to be Cuban or Indian or French because they were too ashamed to be Haitian. And how does it look today being, Haitian Josiah versus, a Haitian booty scratcher back in like the 90s, 80s, 60s or whatever. Honestly, if anyone in here is willing to have that talk, OMG, I would want to sit down and do this interview seriously. And if you want to be anonymous, maybe we could work something out. And maybe Ken Moore, if you're available, can help record. Let me not throw you out there. But, honestly, I would want to have that talk because, example, what is her name? That actress. Even though I'm the real fancy, but the one from Jamie Foxx. I forgot her name. My gosh. I'm about to Google it real quick. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Whatever her name is. Fancy from Jamie Foxx. Haitian. But when she first came out, and I remember saying her last name is Haitian AF. But she wasn't claiming that. I remember her interview, was it on MTV or VH1 back then, and she was talking about being French. But today, baby, out of the woodworks, everybody's Haitian. And it mainly happened after the earthquake, I must say. Yeah, a lot of people came out around that time and afterwards. Oh my God, I really forgot her name. But anywho, I would love to have a sit down with her and talk to her and have a better understanding on why would you rather, why, not would you rather, but what was the transition like, you know? Yes, thank you. I literally just Googled it. Garcelle Bouvet. Yes. So, I have family with the same last name. And I remember saying this to people like, yo, she's Haitian. I know she's Haitian. Even in the show, she spoke a little bit of French, if I'm not mistaken. And she didn't claim it. Not coming out, not back then when Jamie Foxx's show was, you know, first aired or whatever. And for those growing up, I remember the same thing. A lot of people didn't want to claim it. I didn't understand because I was brought up in this household where we embraced our culture, you know? I didn't understand that the world or like society didn't. And I am grateful on so many levels to have fought through it, to have been name called and kicked and verbally abused and physically and mentally, and to be here today and to still advocate for that beautiful, rich country called Haiti. Anywho, oh my gosh, this virtual background is killing me. Anywho, thanks for tuning in. I just need to get this off my chest. Make sure to tell a friend to tell a friend. If someone is willing to have a talk with me about their transition on, you know, growing up as a Haitian but not claiming it and want to talk to me about it, would be amazing. And I'm willing to do anonymous interviews as well. Yes, be sure you guys to follow me. I have my podcast on Anchor. It's called Dear Haitian People. And of course on all social media platforms. Fancy okay. And you know, you guys, I have so much faith that tomorrow is going to be a much better day. Again, see you guys on the other side. Smooches.